And one of the craziest things that I saw is there was a group of people in Salt Lake City that went, seized a police car, flipped it over, and incinerated it. It was and is a war on war. Are you ready for it? 小贝米浆玩水. This is where I belong. This is my home. This is my calling. Gosh, I love this part of Taiwan. What's up, me fun? How you doing today? Now, you've seen it plastered all over the news, all over the media. Right now in America, there is a big issue between Black Lives Matter and police brutality. It started with a death and moved to protests and riots all over America. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. 那我先要跟你们说一下，这个主题特别的敏感，特别的深刻。Like, this is a deep, deep topic. Frankly, I don't feel like I'm the right guy for this video, but I know many of you turn to me as a news outlet for American topics, so I'm just going to share some of the details with you guys. I'll first share the issue with you based on facts and stats, and then near the end, I will share some of my thoughts and opinions with you guys. Okay guys, here we go. 我们一起来学美国现在在发生什么事. Now, America has had a racist problem from the beginning. 如果我们要去更好的去了解现在的情况到底如何，我们先要去了解美国从一开始这个 racist 的问题到底多严重. Slavery was instituted in America nearly from the beginning. It actually what happened is Americans would take a ship over to Africa, tell the people, lie to the people, saying they would take them to a land of prosperity, of happiness. The moment that those black Africans got on the ship, they would be put in the bottom, shackled up, and their slavery journey began. That is just mind-blowing. It is just horrible, and that is only the beginning. In 1863, after the Civil War, America abolished slavery, but sadly, that wasn't the end of racism. Black people continued to be a minority in America and treated unfairly and were segregated. Right in the back of buses, segregated areas, and even had land stripped from them. Did you know that the Central Park in New York was actually a thriving, prosperous black community that was ripped away from them from the rich white people so they could have a park? Throughout years, black activists like Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King helped lessen tensions and narrow the divide between black and white people. But there was still a segregation issue. Sadly, 150 years after the abolishment of slavery, and even having a black president, racism and segregation still existed in America, even till today. Which now leads us to the big event, the thing that's all over the news. On May 25th, George Floyd was arrested outside a shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's a hard one to say. Try it. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Whew. Try spelling it. Now pause real quick. I do have lots of this scripted because I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to like do anything bad on such a sensitive topic. So I just really hope you guys can listen, and I'm trying my best to be serious here. But of course, I'm still a fun guy, but this is seriously a very, very touchy subject and very sad to talk about. He was accused of using a counterfeit $20 bill and was arrested and seized by the police officers there. After he was arrested, he then resisted the arrest, was pinned down with the force of a knee from a police officer, leading to lack of oxygen, and after 17 minutes from the beginning to the end, George Floyd lay dead on the streets. I can't even imagine that. Just imagine being accused of something that you're not guilty of, or even if it was just a small crime, being thrown on the ground and kneed practically to death. That is, the more I think about it, the more like, he was unarmed, posed no threat, but was a victim to racism and police brutality. His cries while being pinned down on the ground, muttering, breathing for air, I need air, I can't breathe. All of those went ignored by the police holding him and restraining him. George Floyd died to Wow, that's a hard one. It means a lack of oxygen to the brain. He was pinned down. He couldn't get air to where he needed, and after some time it led to brain problems, and that was the cause of his death. The videos of the entire arrest are online. I've seen them, and I don't want to watch them again. It hurts to watch. It's a dark image. I would suggest to respect George Floyd and remember him for what he did. The 4 police officers that were involved in this arrest were fired, and the one that was actually doing the kneeling was charged with 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. This 30-minute arrest uproared the entire country. Riots and protests stirred across the entire country, and even surprisingly, to my hometown, Salt Lake City. And this is when the story touched home for me. I never thought there'd be racism problems like this in my hometown. I never thought these actions, these things would lead to destruction through chaos and riots not far from my house. Many of these peaceful protests that started in Minnesota and other areas turned into full-blown riots, with many of the people coming from out of states or different areas. People were throwing bricks, people were breaking into stores, looting things. And one of the craziest things that I saw is there was a group of people in Salt Lake City that went, seized a police car, flipped it over, and incinerated it. It was and is a war on war. It breaks my heart to see America like this. I'm not even there, I can't even be a part of the helping group, but it breaks my heart, especially to see it in my hometown, but also to know that people in my home country are not being treated as equals as they should be. And I also read that in a riot, there was a police officer that was shot. His current state, death or alive, I don't know yet, but why did things have to turn this way? It started with George Floyd, triggered the Black Lives Movement, and now is a pure criminal activity. But the question is it still focused on George Floyd? Is it the topic, or has it changed its motive? So guys, here's my small little opinion about this whole situation. I've told you the facts. What happened? Is it racism? Is it police brutality? What is the underlying problem here? 你要拍个照吗？
哦，谢谢。
好，帅哥。好，拜拜。
拜拜。
I call myself a statistician, studied in college. Let's check out the stats. Blacks are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people. Blacks are also 1.3 times more unlikely to be unarmed than white people. And 99% of killings from police officers has not resulted in a police officer being charged with a fine or any criminal activity. Not only are these numbers shocking, scary, daunting, but the thing is they've been increasing over the past few years. Truth is, guys, I didn't believe these numbers at first when I heard them on the news, on Facebook, but after spending time diving deep inside FBI records, criminal records, and looking at the stats, these are 100% true. Racism is real. I've been on the side of being a minority, of being segregated, of having the effects of racism. It hurts. Words can't fully describe how it feels. But what I experienced isn't even a fraction of what the black people are experiencing in America. Black Lives Matters is a push to end police brutality and to close the gap of segregation. I'm all there. I'm with you guys, and I stand with you. You see this? I kneel with you guys. This is a cause, a stand that needs to be brought up, that needs to be put to the world. Let our leaders in America be held accountable for what change hasn't happened. I will also stand up with the police. I will stand up with the government, the ones that are fighting to make a difference with us. And the truth is, fighting a fire never works. Seeing the images and videos online of America being destroyed by protests and riots left me so sad, disheartened, and very let down by my fellow Americans. Now, I did want to clarify a few things. What you've been seeing online, what you've been seeing in the news, the riots, the protests, the police brutality, that is only a small fraction of a percent. That does not classify all of America. That does not represent most Americans. In fact, most of us stand with black people. In lots of the riots, most of the people doing that were white people, although some people have been condemned for doing so, that they aren't black, that they aren't fighting for their own issue. But many people are coming to stand up for a fellow brother and fight for a good cause. Just Don't fight. Don't destroy property. Don't hurt people. Now the other question is, were the police right in what they did? Not at all. What they did was murder. It was bad, and I am glad they are being charged to the finest. To the fullest. Being charged to the fullest. They killed an unharmed man who posed no threat. Yes, on their behalf, he was resisting arrest at first. They were under pressure, there were lots of things going on. I'm sure they didn't think fully, but they obviously weren't trained well. They had a brutality mindset, and these were the bad cops. Bad guys. Guys, I do know many police officers who are amazing people. They're there to help with the community, to keep people safe, and to fight for a good, strong cause. America shouldn't be lashing out on all of the police, on the government. But my biggest prayer are for those who are being ignorant towards this situation, or those who still have racism and bigotry towards these other races, black people, Asians, you name it. It's time to change your heart. This should be something we should be working together, creating an equal environment, a safe place for everyone. Once again, this was a very, very touchy subject. As you can tell, I had a script. I wanted everything to go by smoothly. I wanted to tell you the facts. I wanted to fill you in with correct information. And also, I didn't want to just randomly accidentally say something that was incorrect. Today, I decided to actually film here in Jianghua City, where I live. Right behind me is downtown at the police station there. I want to give thanks to all the active police officers here in Taiwan and all the other countries, and also in America. I know they're getting thrashed right now. They're getting ridiculed, but they are making a difference. There are good cops, there are bad cops. And what happened recently was with bad cops. I also stand here today, well, I was going to kneel, but it's far away, to say that I am with Black Lives Matter. I'm just trying to share with you my light opinion and the facts about it all. I hope I can become your ambassador to American events. What do you guys want me to make a video next? Do you like this kind of format going on? I also try to speak a bit slower so you can understand and also learn some English with this case. I just want to end this video by saying Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives do matter, but right now is the time to focus to help our fellow brothers, to help the Black Lives Matter movement. This is their time to fix their issue, and I'm standing with them. Thanks for watching. If you like this, hit like, hit share, make sure you guys subscribe, and I think you all know what to say. 喝一杯，快乐一杯，米浆万岁。